Well, hello and how are you, hey friends? Welcome to the Shen Show. I am your host, Shen Briscoe, coming to you live right here in St. Charles, Missouri. Hey, today is January the 6th, 2023. Got a happy birthday shout out going out to Sherry Lucas-Morse, Heather Elizabeth Lynn Adams-Farrar, and Matt Krich, and Chris Fasnacht. So without further ado, hey Chris, hey Matt, hey Heather, hey Sherry. Hey, I heard it's your birthday today. So happy birthday, honestly. You know, you're 1 year older today, so a happy birthday to you, I say. Said, hey Sherry, hey Heather, hey Matt, hey Chris, hey, I heard it's your birthday today. So that's another trip around the sun that you made. Hope you're enjoying your day because, well, it's your happy birthday day today. I said it's your happy birthday day today. Hey. All right. I think we got somebody over here, want that. Adam Salmon, can I join Zoom? I'm not on Zoom. It's not a Zoom link. I don't know how to link a Zoom link. It's just video. All I can do is get uh, whatchamacallits here. Your messages on the side. All right. Well, I'll have to get you to I after the show. Where am I at here? Oh, weather forecast for the St. Charles viewing area. Today's high temperature was 47 degrees Fahrenheit, meaning it was cold outside. And guess what? It still is. But it's going to be dropping even colder, all the way down to 32 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. That's right, mostly cloudy skies overnight with low temperatures of 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are going to be east to northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then you're going to have your uh, Saturday, January the 7th, mostly cloudy skies. Slight chances of rain showers are quite possible. High temperatures of 46 degrees Fahrenheit with winds east to northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy during the evening and few showers developing later on. At night, low temperatures of 33 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds north to northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chances of rain 30%. Sunday, January the 8th, cloudy with rain showers and snow possible. Clearing in the afternoon. High temperatures of 42 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chances of rain 30%. Mainly clear skies overnight. Low temperatures of 23 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds light and variable west to southwest at 4 miles per hour. And then Monday, January the 9th, intervals of clouds and sunshine with high temperatures of 53 degrees Fahrenheit, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Cloudy skies early and then partly cloudy after midnight. Low temperatures of 38 degrees Fahrenheit, winds south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for Tuesday, January the 10th, partly cloudy skies overnight. Low temperatures, hot during the day. 54-degree high with winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. A few clouds from time to time overnight. Low temperatures of 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds light and variable. And then for our fifth and final day of our 5-day forecast for the St. Charles viewing area, Wednesday, January 11th. Overcast skies, high temperatures of 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds south to southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy with rain developing after midnight. A low temperature of 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chances of rain 70%. And that, my friends, is your 5-day forecast. Wait a minute. This is Adam, like as in James is Adam. No. Which Adam are you? How am I? I'm okay, I guess. I think I've pretty much got me a roommate now. I can't Zoom. I don't know how to Zoom. The only Zoom that I've got is a link that goes to my church's Bible study. What new job? Would that be here? I mean, what new job? I don't get it. I don't know. Don't know what's going on. I don't have a Zoom link. Sorry. I don't know how to go about doing it. Yeah, I have no clue how to start a Zoom link up for this. It's not a Zoom. It's live, live. It's a live cast. That's all there is to it. Anyway, oh, let's see. What are we going to do? A song to sing. Because I'm not exactly sure who you are, and so like, put me some background information on who you are, and then we can go from there. Only Adam I really know would be Schulte, and well, I haven't heard from him in ages. Do 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 do. Got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. I guess you'd say, what can let me feel this way is my girl, my girl, my girl. Talking about my girl. Ooh, ooh, yeah, my girl. Ooh. All right, hey, let's tell a kid story for the kids. How about that? Little story to help put the kids to sleep. That's right, it's TV grandpa time. We're ready to tell a little children's story. That's right. Here we go. What do we want to tell today? I don't know what to tell. I can't find one that I could do some of Aesop's fables, I guess. I don't know. Elder tree mother, little claws and big claws. Old Luke, old the dream god. Soup on a sausage peg. The beetle who went on his travels. The bell, the brave little soldier. The dream of little Turk. The elderbrush, the emperor's new cloak. That's one of my favorites. False collar. The fire tree, flying trunk. We're gonna do the fire tree. Hans Christian Andersen. This charming fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen. Out in the woods stood a nice little fir tree. The place he had was a very good one. The sun shone on him as into fresh air. There was enough of that, and around him grew many large-sized comrades, pines as well as firs. But the little fir wanted so very much to be a grown-up tree. He did not think of the warm sun and of the fresh air. He did not care for the little cottage children that ran about and paddled when they were in the woods looking for wild strawberries. The children often came with a whole pitcher full of berries, or a long row of them threaded on a straw, and sat down near the young fir tree and, "Oh, how pretty he is! What a nice little fir!" But this was that what the tree could not bear to hear. At the end of the year he had shot up a good deal, and after another year he was another long bit taller. But for with fir trees one can always tell by the shoots how many years old they are. Oh, where I but such a higher tree as the ones are over there, sighed he. Then I should be able to spread out my branches, and with the tops of to look over, spread out my branches with my tops to look into the wide world. Then would the birds build nests among my branches, and when there was a breeze, I could bend with as much straightness as the others. Neither the sunbeams, nor the birds, nor the red clouds, which morning, evening sailed above them, have the little tree any pleasure. In winter, when the snow lay glistening on the ground, a hare would often come hopping along and jump right over the little tree. Oh, that made him so very angry. But 2 winters were passed, and in the third the tree was so large that the hare was obliged to go round it, to grow and grow, to get older and to be tall. Thought the tree that, after all, is the most delightful thing in the world. In autumn, the woodcutters always came and felled some of the larger trees. This happened every year, and the young fir tree that had now grown to a very comely size trembled at the sight, for the magnificent great trees fell to the earth with noise and crackling. The branches were lopped off, and the trees looked long and bare. They were handled They were hardly to be recognized, and then they were laid in carts, and the horses dragged them out of the woods. Where did they go to? What became of them? In the spring, when the swallows and the storks come, the trees ask them, "Don't you know where they have been taken? Have you not met them anywhere?" The swallows did not know anything about it, but the stork, long musing, nodded his head and said, "Yes, I think I know. I met many ships as I was flying higher from Egypt, flying hither from Egypt. On the ships were magnificent masts, and I venture to assert that it was they that smelt so of fur. I may congratulate you, for they lifted themselves on high most majestically. Oh, were I but old enough to be fly across the seas. But how does the sea look in reality? What is it like?" "Well, that would take a long time to explain," said the stork, and with these words off he went. Rejoice to the growth. and send a sunbeam. Said the sunbeams, rejoice to the vigorous growth, and in the fresh, live life that motive that moveth within thee. And the wind kissed the tree, and the dew wept tears over him. But the fir understood it not. And when Christmas came, quite young trees were cut down, trees which often were not even as large or of the same age as this fir, who could never rest, but always wanted to be off these young trees. And they were always that the finest looking, retrained that restrained their branches, and they were laid on carts, and the horses drew them out of the woods. Where are they going to? Asked the fir. They are not taller than I. There's one indeed that was considerably shorter. And why do they retrain all their branches? Whether are whither are they taken? We know, chirped the sparrows. We have peeped in at the windows in the town below. We know whether they are taken. The greatest splendor and the greatest magnificence one can imagine awaits them. We peered through the windows and saw them planted in the middle of the warm room and ornamented with the most splendid things, with, with gilded apples, with gingerbread, with toys, and many pearl hundred lights. And then asked the fir tree, trembling in every bough, and then what happened to them? We did not see anything more. It was incomparable, comparably beautiful. I would fain now, if I am destined for so glorious a career, to ride the tree rejoicing. That is still better than to cross the seas. What a longing do I suffer, where Christmas but comes. I am now tall, and my branches spread like the others that were carried off last year. Oh, were I but ready on that cart, were I in a warm room, and all the splendor and magnificence of the year. Oh, how I long and how I suffer. I do not know myself what this is the matter with me. Rejoice in our presence, said the air and the sunlight. Rejoice in thy own fresh youth. But the tree did not rejoice at all. He grew and grew and was green both winter and summer. People saw him, said, what a fine tree. And toward Christmas, he was one of the first that was cut down. The axe struck deep into the very pith. The tree fell to the earth with a sigh. He fell a pang. It was like a swoon. He could not think of happiness, for he was sorrowful. More, perhaps, not even the birds. Oh, sorrowful at being separated from his home, from the place where he had sprung up. He knew well that he should never see his dear old comrades, the little bushes, the flowers around him, any more. Perhaps not even the birds. The departure was not at all agreeable. The tree only came to himself when he was unloaded in the courtyard with the other trees, and he heard a man say, That's one. That one is splendid. We don't want the others." Then two servants came in rich livery and carried the fir tree into a large and old splendid drawing room. Portraits were hanging on the walls, and near the white porcelain stove stood two large Chinese vases with lions at the curves. There, too, were large easy chairs, silken sofas, large tablets or tables full of picture books and full of toys worth hundreds of crowns. At least the children said so, and the fir tree was stuck right in the cask that was filled with sand. But no one could see that it was a cask, for green cloth was hung all around it, and it stood on a colored paper, and each net was filled with sugar plums, and it was hung with green cloth all around it, and it stood on a large grayly flowered carpet. Oh, how the tree quivered! What was to happen? The servant, all as well as the young ladies, just directed it. On one branch, decorated it. On one of the branches, three huge little nets caught out of colored paper, and each net was filled with sugar plums. And among the other browse gilded apples and walnuts were suspended, looking as though they had grown there. A little blue and white tapers white were placed among the leaves, dolls that looked for all the world like men. The tree had never beheld such beauty before. Where we're seen among the foliage, and at the very top a large star of gold tinsel was fixed. It was really splendid, beyond description splendid. This evening, said they all, how it will shine this evening. Oh, thought the tree, if the evening were but to come, if the tapers were but lighted, and then I wonder what will happen. Perhaps the other trees from the forest will come to look at me. Perhaps the sparrows will beat against the window panes. I wonder if I shall take root here, and winter and summer stand covered with the ornaments. We knew very much about the matter, but he was so impatient for so sheer longing that he got a pain in his back. And this, with trees, is the same thing as a headache with us. The candles were not lighted. What brightness was splendorous! The tree trembled so in every brow that one of the tapers set fire to the foliage. It blazed up splendidly. Help, help, cried the young ladies, and they quickly put out the fire. Now the tree did not even dare tremble. What a state he was in! He was so uneasy lest he should lose something of his splendor. Yet he was quite bewildered amidst the glare and brightness, when suddenly both foliage folding doors opened, and a troop of children rushed in as if they would upset the tree. The older person followed quietly. The little ones stood quiet, still, but it was only for a moment. Then they shouted, and so that the whole place reached, uh, echoed with their rejoicing. They danced round the tree and opened presents after the other was pulled out. What are they about? Thought the little tree. What is to happen now? And the lights burned down to the very branches, and as they burned down, they were put out, one after another, and then the children had permission to plunder the tree. So they fell upon it with such violence that all its branches cracked, If it had not been fixed firmly in the cask, it would certainly have tumbled down. The children danced about with their beautiful playthings, and no one looked at the tree except the old nurse, who peeped between the branches, but it was only to see if there was a fig or an apple left that had been forgotten. A story, a story, cried the children, drawing a little fat man toward the tree. He seated himself under it and said, "Now we are in the shade, and the tree can listen too. But I shall tell only one story. Now, which will you have? That about lovely Abby, or about Plumply Dumpy, who tumbled downstairs, and yet after came after all came to the throne and married the princess?" "Lively Adderley," the children cried some. "Clumply Plumply," cried the others. There was such a bowling and screaming. The fir tree alone was silent, and he thought to himself, "Am I not the ball with the rest? Am I to do nothing whatever?" For he was one of the company and had done what he had to do. And the man told about Plumply Dumply and that tumbled down. It's a long story. I need a decision with you about the new job. Send the Zoom link. When you're going to another live, get Zoom link, okay? What new job? No one is watching your show. Yes, I know. I won't tremble tomorrow, thought the fir tree. I will only enjoy to the full all my splendor. Tomorrow I shall hear again the story of Plumply Dumply, and perhaps that of Lively Dively also. And the whole night the tree stood still and in deep thought. In the morning the servants and the housemaid came in. Now then, the splendor will begin again, thought the fir. But they dragged him out of the room and up the stairs into the loft, and here in a dark corner where no daylight could get to him or enter, they left him. What's the meaning of this? Thought the tree. What am I to do here? What shall I hear now? I wondered. And he leaned against the wall, lost in revival. Time enough had he too for his reflection, for days and nights passed on, and nobody came up. And when at last someone did come, it was only to put some green trunks in the corner, out of the way. There stood the tree quite hidden. It seemed as if he had been entirely forgotten. "'Tis now winter out of doors," thought the tree. "The earth is hard and covered with snow. Men cannot plant me now, and therefore I have been put up here under shelter till the springtime comes. How thoughtful that is! How kind is it, after all, if only we're not so dark, if it were only not so dark in here, and so terribly loved, not even a hair, and or are out on the woods. It was so pleasant when the snow was on the ground and the hare leaped by. Yes, even when he jumped over me. But I did not like it then. It is really terrible, really lonely here." "Squeak, squeak," said a little mouse at the same moment, peeping out of his hole. And then another little one came. They sniffed the air, both the fir tree, and rustled among the branches. "It is dreadfully cold," said the mouse, "but for that I it would be delightful here, old fir, wouldn't it?" "I am by no means old," said the fir tree. "There's many one considerably older than I am." "Where do you come from?" asked the mice. "And what can you do?" They were so extremely curious. "Tell us about the most beautiful spot on the earth." "Why, have you never been there? Where you never in the ladder, where cheese lie on the shelves, and hams hang from above, where one dances about on tallow candies, and that place where one enters lean and comes out again fat and floridly?" "I know no such place," said the fir tree, "but I know the woods where the sun shines and where the little birds sing." And when he told all about his youth, and the little mice had never heard the likes before, and they listened and said, "Well, to be sure, how much you have seen! How happy you must have been!" "I," said the fir tree, thinking over what he had himself related. "Yes, in reality, those were happy times." And then he told them about Christmas Eve, when he was decked out with all the cakes and the candies. "Oh," said the little mice, "how fortunate you have been, old fir tree." Am I am by no means old," said he. "I came from the woods this summer or winter, and I am in the prime time of my life, and I am only rather short for my age." "What delightful stories you know," said the mice, and the next night they came with 4 other little mice, who were to hear what the tree recounted. And the mice he related the more plenty he remembered all himself, and it appeared as if those times had really been happy times. But they may still come. They may still come. Clumpy Dumpy fell downstairs, and yet he got a princess, and he thought at the moment of a nice little branch birch tree growing out in the woods. To the fir, that would be a real charming princess. "Who is Clumpy Dumpy?" asked the mice. So the fir tree told the story of Clumpy Dumpy, the fairy tale, and he could remember every single word of it. And the little mice jumped for joy to the very top of the tree. Next night, next night, 2 more mice came, and on Sunday 2 rats. Even, but they said the stories were not interesting, which vexed the little mice, and they too now began to think them not so very amusing either. "Do you know only one story?" asked the rats. "Only that one," answered the tree. "I heard it on my happiest evening, but I didn't then know that I was happy." "It is so very stupid story. Don't you know one because of about bacon and tallow candies? Can you tell us a latter stories?" "No, sir," said the tree. "Nope. Then goodbye," said the rats, and they went home. At last the little mice stayed away also, and the tree sighed. And after all, it was very pleasant when the sleek little mice around me and listened to what I had told them. Now that too is over, but I will take good care to enjoy myself when I am brought out again. But when was that to be? Why, one morning there came a quantity of people to set to work in the loft. The trunks. The trunks were moved. The tree was pulled out and thrown rather hard, it is true, down the floor, but a man drew him towards the stairs, where the daylight shone. Now a merry life will begin again, thought the tree. He felt the fresh air, the first sunbeam, and now he knew. And now he was out in the country yard. All passed so quickly. There was so much going on around him that the tree quiet forgot to look to himself, and the court adjourned a garden, and all the wars in the flowers, and all was in flowers. The roses hung so fresh and outdoors over the bluebird blue strands, and the lindered banner in bloom, and the swallows flew by and said, "Querel fit, my husband is come." But it was not the fir tree that they meant. "Now then, I shall really enjoy life," said he, exhaustingly, and they spread out his branches. But, alas, they were all withered and yellow. It was in the corner of the that he lay, among weeds and nettles, and the golden star of tinsel was still on top of the tree, and glittered in the sunshine. In the countryside, some of the merry children were playing who had danced at Christmas around the fir tree, and were so glad at the sight of him. One of the youngest ran out and tore off the golden star. "Only look what is still on the ugly old Christmas tree," she said, trampling on the branches so that they all cracked beneath his feet. And the tree beheld all the beauty of the flowers and the freshness in the garden. He beheld himself, and wished he had remained in his dark corner in the loft. He thought of his first youth in the woods, and the merry Christmas Eve, and of the little mice who had listened with so much pleasure to his stories of Clumpany Cliff. "'Tis over, 'tis past," said the poor little tree. "Had I rejoiced when I had reason to do so, but now that 'tis past, 'tis past." And then the gardener's boy chopped the tree into small pieces, and there was a whole heap lying there. The wood flamed up splendidly under the large brewing copper pot, and its sigh so deeply in each sigh was like a shot. The boys planted about in the court, and the youngest wore the gold star on his breast, which the tree had had on the happiest evening of his life. However, that was over now. The tree was then the story at the end. All was over. Every tale must come to an end. And so there it is. That was the fir tree, Hans Christian Andersen. Okay, there we go. Now then, that looks like it. That's all. That's the end of the show. So let's see. Oh, don't forget the daily bread portion of the program. We got to remember that. Here we go. The daily bread portion of the program is brought to you today by the Bible with Briscoe 2023. The Bible with Briscoe 2023 is a daily reading of the Bible to be completed within 1 year. Today's reading on the Bible with Briscoe 2023 will be Genesis 16 through 17 and Matthew 5:27 through 48. So don't forget to keep watching Bible with Briscoe 2022 for your reading of the Bible. Made for Adventure is today's devotion in the Daily Bread portion of the program, and we are going to be reading today's scriptures and insights from Genesis 1:21 through 28. And so, without further ado, Genesis 1, 21 through 28, which is kind of cute because Bible with Briscoe covered pretty much that today. So God created the great creatures of the. So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living thing with it, and the water teams, and that moves about in it according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, and he said, be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth. And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. And God said, let the land produce living creatures according to their kind, and livestock, and the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its own kind. And it was so. God made the whole wild animals according to their kind, the livestock according to their kind, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make mankind in our own image, in our own likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds on the land, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. So God created mankind in his own image. In his own uh, image, and the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moveth on the ground. And that was Genesis 1:21 through 28, which was pretty cool. Did I say we covered that just today? No, we covered that a while back in Genesis, matter of fact. When we done Genesis 1, and then 2, and then 3, now we're in 4. Well, tomorrow we'll be in 5. Alrighty then. Hey, that looks like it's close enough. Shen Show looks like it's about over. I got one song for you. Oh, well, goodbye, my friends. It's time to go. I said goodbye, my friends. It's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must go. So goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. This here has been Shenandoah Fresco saying hello and how are you? Thanks for tuning into the Shin Show, and as always, you know, God loves you and so do I. So come back and see me tomorrow because, well, God willing, we'll be here, and we hope that you are too. Okay, Adam, do you want to what? Go to Facebook and phone video chat over there? More than welcome to. All right, bye. All right, friends, that's it. We're done. Have a blessed night. I forgot that. Bye.